Hey guys! As we've been travelling around Australia, we've been doing our favourite caravan parks and campsites as we've left each state. Now, travelling through Queensland, we actually stayed at 38 spots over a period of 3.5 months, so a decent amount of time. And yeah, I mean, we've had a fantastic time, but I think it's really useful just to call out our favourite places where we've stayed.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to break it down a little bit differently to what we did in the last episodes. And just in case you're interested, I'll link the previous top stays in the description below. So have a look at those when you finish this. But for this episode, our top Queensland stays, we only stayed at one free camp, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we're going to break it down into being the top 3 low-cost campgrounds and then our top 10 caravan parks.
Yeah, we did stay at a lot more caravan parks than campgrounds this time.
Yeah, so that moves us on to our free camp. So the only free camp that we stayed in Queensland was Camooweal Billabong, right on the border of Queensland and Northern Territory. It was scorching hot, 40 plus degrees the 2 days that we were there. And yeah, we decided pretty early on in Queensland it was just simply too hot to be doing a lot of free camping, especially with Archie as well. We really wanted the aircon, but we'll give a special mention to Camooweal Billabong because it was an absolutely superb little free camp right on the Billabong. Loads of bird life around there as well. Great spots. You can have a fire there as well. And it could get a bit muddy if it was really wet. Thankfully it wasn't wet at all when we were there, but definitely worth checking out if you're crossing into Queensland. And yeah, we wish we'd done more free camps, but as we said, it was just so scorching hot that we kind of needed our aircon.
Yeah, on our travels we made a conscious decision that we wouldn't buy a generator for a couple of reasons. Weight reasons, we were really maxed out.
Price, we wanted to save our money
price,
on the trip.
Fuel, noise.
Yeah.
So we decided to do our lap without a generator, which as a result limits what you can use when you are camping off grid. Which is fine. We have, as you'll see if you've seen the other states videos, we have done a lot of off-grid camping as we've travelled around, just not so much in this state.
Yeah. So moving right along, let's get down to the lists.
So, low-cost camping, we've defined this as places that we've stayed that have cost less than $30 a night, generally more campground feels. So coming in at number 3 is the Rubern Lagoons Koala Park in Chinchilla. Yeah,
this was a great little spot that we just kind of stumbled along, and we really enjoyed it there actually. The sites were really large. They were all drive-through sites and they were massive, so yeah, really easy to get in and out of. It was really grassy as well. Had a really good ensuite loos as well.
It's like one of those big porta cabin blocks with all of the ensuite, you know, sort of a toilet, wash basin, shower in each of them.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a lovely little lagoon, hence the name Rubern Lagoon. And there was loads of little boats and pedalos that you could just use for free. There was probably about 12 different types, which is really cool.
Yeah, so, it was really nice.
Yeah, Archie and I went on the lake and we paddled around a little bit. So it was a really lovely, peaceful spot. Yeah,
there was a deck that just overlooks the lagoon as well, with table and chair, so you could sit right next to it and sort of enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, really.
We didn't see any koalas there.
No koalas, strangely enough, but
we weren't there for long.
Yeah, it was a lovely spot. In fact, we stayed there twice at 2 different occasions. When we went out to Charleville and came back, we stayed at there both times. So, really lovely spot. I suppose the only cons about it was that the loos were a little grubby. Like, I'm probably nitpicking.
So the challenge was overnight the lights were all on where the toilet block was, and as a result they were a bit bugsy.
Yeah, but I mean we're really nitpicking here. Apart from that, I really loved the spot, and I'd be going back there again. Yeah,
it had a really peaceful feel to it.
Yeah.
And at what was it, $25 a night?
Yeah.
And that was for power and water.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty good value.
Yep.
So, coming in at number 2, That was Neem Hall. It was a small place in a town called Finchhatton, which is on the road as you're heading to the Yungala National Park. It was a beautiful spot, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just, again, stumbled across this because we were looking for somewhere quick and cheap to stay. We were only going to be there one night. We almost stayed at Finchhatton Showgrounds. We checked it out. There wasn't much going on there. It was just a pretty blank field. And then we spotted this little place. And what a little gem it is.
Yeah, absolutely. At $20 a night, it was a bargain.
$20.
And we had power and water included in that.
Yep.
The toilets and showers were great.
Yeah, they were pretty new as well. So
yeah, that kind of concretey industrial look.
It was almost like a little farm stay because there were like chickens there. They had some goats which kept escaping their little pen, which was quite funny. Yeah, they had a load of dogs and 8 puppies as well, which was really
they were gorgeous.
Cute. But most of all, this little place, it was right by a little stream, and it was so hot out there as well. So once we got there, we saw a whole lot of people just sitting in the stream in their fold-out chairs, and we're just like, oh my god, we've got to get a part of that.
Yeah.
So what did we do for the whole afternoon? We took our chairs down,
and a beer,
took a few beers, and just sat in the river, and it was sensational, wasn't it?
Yeah, this place definitely got Archie's thumbs up of approval, or paws up, I'm not sure. So he absolutely loved it with the dogs there, and he had a great time. And he also loved being in the little stream as well. Had a nice swim, and he cooled down too.
And a great spot to discover the national park, which was only 15 minutes down the road, if that.
Yeah. And what's really handy is, because it gets really narrow and windy to go up to the national park, this is just in the flats before. So if you've got a big caravan, I would highly recommend just staying in Finchhatton, leaving the caravan there and just driving up to the national park.
Yeah, exactly. And for the cons, I mean, there wasn't really much wrong with this place. It just ticked all the boxes. I suppose, again, I'm nitpicking here, but the only thing that I could think of is the sites were a little bit random. So they were just all over the shop. And they just put us in the most odd spot. But do you know what? It didn't really matter. It was a stunning place, and we weren't there for the sitting in the caravan. We were there for exploring the countryside. So
yeah, it's not really set up as a caravan park. If you're unpowered, self-contained, really easy to go anywhere.
That's the way to do it, I think.
Yeah, but because we did want power, they just basically plugged us into the external kitchen plug socket there, didn't they?
So it was a bit ad hoc, but apart from that, fantastic. Right, and now for our number one, our favourite campground or low-cost campsite in Queensland. And this one, hands down, I absolutely loved this place. In fact, this is probably my favourite place in all of Queensland. If I had to pick one place, I'd come back here again.
I think I agree.
And that's Burdekin Cane Farm, just outside Townsville in Burdekin. So here, this is where they do all the cane farm burns. So there's just fields and fields of cane farms. We rocked up in our caravan and got a beautiful spot right by a little stream, full of wildlife as well. There's loads of ducks and swans hanging around under some amazing mango trees.
Yeah.
And it was just a incredibly peaceful and lovely spot to stop.
It was so lovely. They don't have a huge amount of sites. I think it's about 13 or 14.
Yeah, it's quite small.
Yeah, you have to have your own toilets because they don't have any facilities there, but they do have power and water, so you are connected, and which is good.
The best thing about this place by far is the cane farm burns, and we specifically, well, I really wanted to do one badly, so we changed our entire itinerary to get here
just
earlier.
to come to this place.
Yeah, so we drove quite a long way to get here to do a cane farm burn, and it didn't disappoint. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And $15 a night, you really can't go wrong.
It's $15 a night. Like, it's so cheap. Like,
$15 a night, power and water.
I felt I was robbing the poor place. Like, it was such a beautiful spot for $15 a night. And the only catch there is that they do ask you to stay multiple nights. So we stayed 2 nights. I think they do prefer you to stay longer, but we had to keep moving along.
But I mean, the actual Greg took us, so he welcomed us. He brought us some bananas, which was amazing. The mangoes weren't quite ripe, but if you'd been there a bit later, I think he'd
a couple of weeks later they were giving them out.
Yeah, he was just saying help yourself to mangoes.
Yeah.
So super generous people, and to then take us out on his little buggy to go and watch the cane burn. I mean,
it's such an awesome experience. You just don't find those places very often, and I personally, I think it's one of my favourite places in the entire trip. I loved it that much. But,
and he even had a fire pit. There's a fire pit there, and you could do sort of questions for Greg in the evening, and he'd tell you some stories. And
it's really
so just
good.
a really nice atmosphere.
Yeah, so don't miss that one if you're ever down that way, especially during cane farm burning season, which I think is kind of like July to October, November. Stay at Burdekin cane farm.
So I think it's open from about April through to maybe December. So you'd have to check on Wikicamps because he actually does post when he's open. So I know that he reopens April 2022. Yeah,
but definitely check it out if you're in the area. Right, that's our low cost camping done. Our top 3, all amazing spots. Now let's move on to our top caravan parks. So coming in at number 10 was Julia Creek Caravan Park.
Yeah, this was a great spot and has made it into our top 10 for one particular reason. It has some artesian baths.
Yeah, those baths are amazing. I mean, first let's talk about the caravan park. I mean, the sites are great, really level, the loos are clean, they're quite modern as well. But there's nothing special about the caravan park. I mean, they have free bike hire, they have a token for the pool next door, which is really great. But what lets this caravan park go to the next level is those artesian baths, which are absolutely awesome.
Yeah, they are an extra cost, so I think we paid $60 for a sunset bath.
Yeah.
But I think that got us 45 minutes, and
usually it's 45 minutes to an hour, but we spent a little bit longer there. They're pretty flexible. But yeah, if you're in the area, definitely worth stopping by Julia Creek just to do those artesian baths.
Yeah, definitely. For me, the only con was it was really hot there, and the water that came out, because we were power run water, for $32 a night it was, and no matter how long you had your cold tap running, it was just hot the whole time. I had my hottest cold shower in the caravan there. It was really hot.
Yeah, it's probably not a criticism on the caravan park at all. It's just a hot area, really boiling hot.
But the location and the time of year, really.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, Julia Creek gets our number 10.
At number 9 was Ingenia in Landsborough.
Yeah, this is a really cool spot. We did a few Ingenias on our trip, mainly because they have a great offer of stay 4 nights and pay 3, which is really helpful. So we stayed at a lot of Ingenias for 4 nights down the East Coast especially. But this one there was a great little peaceful spot on the Sunshine Coast. It was really close to Australia Zoo. It was probably about 20 minutes from Caloundra, so it was a bit of a drive there, but it wasn't terrible. The sites were lovely and they were flat. They were a bit odd, some of the sites. They used different pockets of the caravan park, but for a big rig like ours, easy to get in and out.
Yeah, so where we were, I mean, we were next to the lake, next to the toilets. The showers there were really big. They're sort of super long, so you could put your clothes at one end, have a shower at the other, and you knew your clothes would stay dry, which was a bonus.
Yeah.
And I think it was just, for me, it was just the character. It didn't feel like a traditional boring caravan park. It just had character.
It did have character. It had a lovely lake as well, a massive lake with a fountain and loads of ducks and ducklings running around. And
the camp kitchen was right on the bank of the lake as well.
And it was one of the best camp kitchens we've seen. Like, had a wood-fired pizza there, oven, and really good picnic spots as well. So yeah, overall a really fantastic caravan park and just so much character for in the middle of the Sunshine Coast. So yeah, Landsborough Caravan Park gets our number 9. Coming in at number 8 was Crystal Creek Caravan Park.
Yeah, Crystal Creek. This was very much about the caravan park, not the location.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was the first time we'd seen lush green grass in so long.
Yeah.
The grass was beautiful. There were trees everywhere. The sites were these huge, long, diagonal drive-throughs.
Yeah, lovely sights. It was just a really nice spot to stay. I mean, yeah, regards to the location, I mean, it's not terrible location if you're there for seeing the Little Creek and the Big Creek, which are absolutely fantastic spots to check out, and we loved it there. But there's not a lot else around there, so it's kind of a good stopover before you get to Townsville, or if you've just left Townsville, to stop by there and check out the beautiful waterholes around there.
Yeah, and the caravan park did have a lovely swimming pool as well, so there were things to do to keep you entertained.
Yeah.
Check-in was a bit weird. You have to check in at the petrol station, so we were sort of waiting a little while for all of the people to get served for petrol first. That was a little bit odd, but once we got through the check-in, that was really smooth.
Yeah, exactly. So Crystal Creek Caravan Park gets our number 8.
Number 7 was the Big Four Cairns Coconut Holiday Park. This was a really nice caravan park. Probably the more traditional Big Four, what you expect from a resort-style caravan park.
It was very resorty, wasn't it? Like, it had the massive water park for kids. It had an awesome bar and restaurant there as well, which you don't usually find too many caravan parks with a really cool bar. And then, yeah, it was a really nice spot. It was probably 25 minutes, or maybe not that long, 20 minutes outside Cairns, if that.
Yeah, a little drive-in.
I mean, they originally put us in a really crummy spot, which was a bit frustrating. The lips there of the curves,
the curves
are really big, so just something to note when you're going there with a large caravan. But then they moved us to the big rig area, and we got a great site. It was perfect.
Yeah, we had so much room. It was right next to the big rig area, is right next to the dog agility area. So Archie was loving that as well.
Yeah.
It was really nice there. The only downside of that area was it was quite far from the toilet block, so you couldn't wait till you were desperate.
Yeah.
I think rather than just having one big sort of toilet and shower block, we prefer it where there's a few little ones around so that they're nice and close.
Yeah, but apart from that, I mean, there wasn't anything
really
wrong with this place. It's a great spot, really good to base yourself for Cairns, and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah, we had a swim in one of the pools. They've got a selection of pools.
They've got 2 pools.
And we were in the one that didn't have the water park attached, and it was really nice.
Yeah, and for, was it $38 per night?
Yeah.
We stayed 4 or 5 nights, I think it was. So it was perfect. So coming in at number 6 was Island Gateway Caravan Park, which is in Airlie Beach.
Yeah, it's a little way out of the town, a bit of a drive, but it's a lovely caravan park. It's big. Now, we can only really comment on where we were, and there is a dog-friendly area at the far end, sort of a big field. And because it was raining when we arrived, raining really heavily, that area was quite boggy, so we were in the main part of the caravan park, which in my opinion is a lot nicer.
Yeah, we got lucky with that, and we got a really nice little spot next to the loos as well, which was quite handy, next to a nice picnic table and shelter there. But yeah, it was a lovely spot. The sites were really level. The ones at the dog-friendly area were pretty boggy, and that's why they put us in the non-dog area, which was great. But yeah, great spot, and it had a nice little pool there as well, didn't it?
Yeah, quite a bit of wildlife as well.
Lots of curlews around.
Yeah,
you heard them all night going. Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, and it just had a nice tropical feel with all of the palm trees, and it was just nice.
And the one big con with that park, which we can't avoid, is the distance to Airlie Beach. It was a little way out of the town of Airlie Beach, but again, it's pretty nitpicking. It wasn't too bad. So,
you just wouldn't really want to walk, I don't think.
No,
It'd be a fair walk.
Yeah, definitely. But absolutely loved Island Gateway.
At number 5 was the Big Four Gold Coast Holiday Park in Helensvale. Again, a bit similar to Cairns Coconut. This is it's a sort of a real holiday park. And
very, very resorty, this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and very family friendly as well.
Yeah, they had an amazing pool, amazing adult pool, great restaurant and cafe there, probably the best cafe slash restaurant we've seen in a caravan park, and the biggest water park there ever.
Yeah,
it was
with
just
adult
massive.
water slides, because somebody went on them.
I went on them many times, so it was so much fun.
So something for the big kids too.
Yeah, I mean, we were in our site where we were was kind of at the back of the park, which does tend to get flooded, and when there's heavy rains, they can actually close that whole section. And,
yeah, so that section's called Riverside,
yeah,
and it's seasonal, so you can only book it outside flooding times.
Yeah, and it was pretty wet when we were there. It wasn't flooding, but there was definitely, it was really muddy. There were lots of puddles everywhere, and even just the walkways to getting to the loo was usually underwater, which wasn't really that nice.
Yeah, we got pretty wet feet a fair few times.
But I mean, apart from that, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a major issue. It was a lovely caravan park. The loos there were amazing. The facilities there were amazing. The staff there were just so helpful as well, which was great.
Yeah, they actually put us in a different site to the one we were booked, because when the guy took us down in the buggy, he realised that the site we were in were booked
just a
for.
big mud pit.
Yeah, it wasn't great, so he actually moved us to a nicer site.
Yeah, and it was a great location to do the theme parks as well. So that's when we went to Movie World, we went to Wet and Wild, and we spent time doing the theme parks. You could literally see some of the roller coasters from our caravan. Like, we were that close to the theme parks.
Yeah, you probably could walk to the theme parks from there.
You could absolutely. So if you're doing theme parks, you've got a caravan, that's the spot to stay.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to number 4. Our number 4 was Tropic Breeze Caravan Park in Port Douglas.
Location, location, location.
Yeah, now the caravan park, it was lovely, but the location of this place, it's literally 5 minutes walk into the town of Port Douglas. We did it half a dozen times, went out for dinner. It was just such an amazing location there, isn't it?
Oh, fantastic. The sites were quite small to get into, so if you have a big caravan, I mean, they were great. The owners or the managers there helped back us in, and we were fine. Yeah,
there's just not a lot of space to, you know, you put your caravan there, you can get your awning out. There's not a lot of space to park your car. You kind of got to squeeze it in on the side between other cars, and there's a road there, so it's a bit cramped, but you know, you kind of expect that with the location it's in being literally in the middle of town. And it had amazing pool there. It was 5 minutes walk to the beach, to an amazing beach.
I reckon.
It was literally right on the beach, pretty much.
Yeah, and it was a dog-friendly beach as well, so we could walk. So sort of downwards was dog-friendly, and further up was not dog-friendly, because on that section of beach you could even go, it was all netted, so you could go for a swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
And we benefited from it being so close to town a few times, because we went out for dinners, and because the weather's so nice, Archie came with us. We just managed to get a dog walk and dinner combined in one.
Yeah, but location, it's just incredible. I can't believe they can get a caravan park there that's so close to the town. I suppose the big con for me was it was a little pricey. It was $48 per night, which is pretty pricey compared to some of the other caravan parks down there.
It's kind of what you'd expect for a caravan park that has loads of facilities.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you're paying for the location. You spend $300-400 a night in some of the resorts next door to it.
Yeah.
So you know, you can kind of understand why it's a little bit pricier than maybe some other caravan parks around. But yeah, definitely a place to stay. If you're in Port Douglas, you can't get a better spot than Tropic Breeze Caravan Park. Right, now we're on to our top 3, the business end. Top 3 caravan parks in Queensland. Now, I thought this was really hard to pick the order of these top 3 caravan parks. All 3 of them are amazing. I'd be happily go back to any one of them tomorrow if we had the choice. And you know, we've ranked them this way for a few reasons, which we'll get into. But really, any one of them could be number 1, because the things that were so well for them are so different from each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's a tricky top 3, but yeah, definitely any of these you'd stay at.
Yeah, I'm almost not sure that we've really agreed on the order of these top 3, but we'll stick with it.
Alright, so number 3, our top 3 caravan parks in Queensland. So our number 3 caravan park was called 1770 Eco Camp, which was actually in Agnes Water. Now it's a lovely little spot. When we got there I was a little bit nervous because it was in a bushland setting. It was quite hilly, there were a lot of big trees around, so getting into a spot with a big caravan was a little bit tricky. But when we got there, what a lovely, fabulous place it was.
Yeah, it was really nice. You feel so private because there's so many trees between each of the sites. There was actually a picnic table as part of our site, so we sort of pulled up, got the awning out, and in front of that was a picnic table. And it just really felt like once you set up, it really feels like your own little area, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the loos there were really great. They were nice and modern as well. They had a great camp kitchen with even a pool table and a table table there, and loads of couches and a fire pit, which was really cool. But they also did lots of activities for the kids as well. They did a cane toad hunting competition one night, which we missed out on. I would have loved to do that, but we only found out about it the next morning. And yeah, just lots of activities for the kids, and just a lovely spot.
And grown-ups.
Yeah, and grown-ups. And how much was it? It was
So it was $35 a night, and that included power. You weren't connected to water, but there was a water available.
Yeah, and I think for cons about this place, it was a little far out from Agnes Water in 1770, but not that far. I'm talking 15 minutes, maybe not even that.
I mean, if you're unhitching and you're just driving the car around, not a problem. I suppose the only challenge is if you're in a motorhome and you want to be walking distance.
Yeah, getting in and out of there was a little tricky, but absolutely fantastic bush setting there, and
we loved it.
Yeah, would not hesitate to go back.
Right, number 2 was Island View Caravan Park at Kinka Beach, just outside Yeppoon. It was lovely, was this place, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved this spot. Had everything you needed. It was a really lovely caravan park. We got an awesome site. Having Archie with us, we were in the dog-friendly section, but the dog-friendly section was so much better than the non-dog-friendly section.
Yeah, it really was.
We were just like, are you serious? We lucked out here.
Yeah, we really did.
Our spot was by a massive little lake, which was lovely. Had loads of swans and stuff around it. Yeah. We had our own fire pit there. We were close to the loos, which were really, they were ensuite style. They were really nice.
Yeah, it was a big site.
It was a big site. It was just a lovely spot. Had a really nice pool as well. It had 2 pools, a kid's pool and an adult pool, and a big kind of gazebo area as well. So it's just a fabulous little spot and totally unexpected.
Yeah, and coming out of the front of the caravan park, you just crossed over the road and there was Kinka Beach, which was a dog-friendly beach, and so Archie went for a bit of a swim. It was, great location. I suppose I say great location, but the only con was the distance to Yeppoon. So it probably was a 20-minute drive either up to Yeppoon, or you could get to Emu Park down at the other end of sort of the little
You're kind of in the middle of the two, weren't you? Yeah.
So I think it's like 10 to 15 minutes down to Emu Park, which is another lovely spot. Yeah. But yeah, again, it involves a fair bit of driving.
But I think it's a good halfway point between the two spots, because you want to go see Yeppoon and you want to go to Emu Park as well, and Island View Caravan Park was just a great kind of halfway point between the two. And from that beach there as well, you could see like Great Keppel Island, and you could see all the islands out there as well. So it was just a really, really nice caravan park. And I think off memory it was about $42 per night for that one as well. So, not too bad for what that area is. Like $42 is pretty reasonable, and great for what we got for it as well. Yeah. So if you're ever in the area, if you're stopping by Yeppoon or want to check out Emu Park, definitely consider Island View Caravan Park.
Especially if you've got a dog.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please. Number 1 was Scarborough Caravan Park, just north of Brisbane.
Yeah, this was a great spot. And like I said before, any of the top 3 could get in the top position. But I think what put Scarborough in number 1 was it just ticked so many boxes. It was... The location was great. It was right by the beach, a lovely beach there. Had an amazing restaurant and cafe out the front, and we went there a couple of times with sensational food there. It wasn't part of the caravan park, but it was kind of attached to the caravan park. But yeah, it was a great spot. The sites were quite big, quite level. You know, we were a little crammed in, but it was the location there, and
it was just after Christmas, so
yeah.
It was probably the busiest time of year, being
Yeah.
between Christmas and New Year. But that being said, I thought the caravan park was spotless.
Oh, it was spotless.
Absolutely
Yeah,
spotless.
the loos were really nice. They were really clean as well.
The grass, everything, you know, the road was really clean. It was just really, really tidy and clean.
Yeah, and to be kind of on the corner of like a little peninsula near the marina, near the beach there, it was just a really lovely spot. I think we went for a walk on the beach almost every day when we were there.
Oh yeah, Archie was having a great time while we were at Scarborough.
Yeah.
And the views out, where you could see sort of, was it Moreton Islands that you could see from there?
Yeah.
And, you know, to be sort of, it was, the reason we booked there was really by chance. I was just looking for the nearest dog-friendly caravan park to Brisbane that I could get availability, bearing in mind we booked it probably 6 or 7 months before Christmas.
Yeah. So I think what got the top spot for this one is just the type of caravan park it was, and which was a really nice, clean caravan park. And the location was incredible.
Yeah.
There's not many places where we've literally been kind of 20-30 meters from the beach in Queensland, so that's why it got number one.
Yeah, it really ticked all of the boxes in terms of the caravan park and the location. And we actually stayed there 7 nights.
Yeah.
And
so it was one of our longest stays on the trip.
I know.
In fact,
and didn't
feel like 7 days.
No, I seem to remember that when we were leaving, we said we could quite easily stay longer.
Yeah, we could.
We were really comfortable there.
Yeah, and it's not too far into Brisbane. It's probably half an hour into Brisbane. So, you know, there's not a lot of caravan parks around that area. So to find one like that around that area was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much was it?
It was $44 a night, so pretty reasonable for such a nice spot.
I mean, we were there over New Year's, so that's pretty good. Like we had a few quotes upwards of, you know, almost $100 per night. So to find one $44 right by the beach, amazing cafe, great caravan park. That's why it got our number one.
Yeah.
So thanks guys for joining us on our top stays in Queensland. So as I said earlier, we've got top stays in all states we've been to so far. I'll put all the links down in the description, so go check those out after you've watched this one. But yeah, there's been some amazing spots we've seen in Queensland, and yeah, there's probably so many more amazing spots out there as well to check out, and these were just a few of our favourites.
Yeah, feel free to comment below with any of your particular favourites in Queensland. I'm sure anybody else watching this video would find that really useful, as we would hopefully for future trips.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, thanks again for joining us, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out a lot. Leave us a like, and yeah, add a comment below. That would help us out as well. So until next time,
take care.
See you then.